Willie Buck Merle from Leander, Texas. He says, Dear Dark Master of the Sacred Text, all hail and hope you're doing well. As of late, I've been trolling the websites of hardcore faith heads and putting into the comment sections things I've learned from your show. That is, of course, if they can pass muster, and they rarely do, darn it. The most open the sites are my stuff. Anyway, the most open place I've found for commenting is on YouTube so far. As for blogs, I'm fast losing interest because there isn't a lot of variety in their fundamentalist message, and they give very little scripture to argue over. It's an easy formula for their postings. Simply every pop star today is infected with STDs. All teen magazines enable female promiscuity, for instance 17, and all contemporary music video is satanic softcore porn. You know, I don't even know who's a pop star today because they all look the same to me. Kids playing with makeup rather than scions of Satan. So when some hopped-up ultra-Orthodox goes off the rails, damning the satanic rituals portrayed in contemporary music video, how does he or she know that they're in fact authentic? Are these rituals described in the Bible so that they're easily recognized? The only satanic ritual I know of is from movies like these in order of release. Hexen, Witchcraft Through the Ages, 1922, Silent Or, with William S. Burroughs narrating. Interesting film, interesting documentary. Black Sunday, 1960, Mario Bava, uncut. Rosemary's Baby, 1968, Roman Polanski. Equinox, 1970, Pre-Evil Dead with stop-motion photography. I believe Fritz Leiber is in that as an actor. Brotherhood of Satan, 1971, L.Q. Jones and best friend Strother Martin. The Devil's Plaything, 1973, gasp, oh my God, naked dancing hippies. The Wicker Man, 1973, vastly underrated, Edward Woodward. That is a great movie. My family and I watch it every May Day. It doesn't have to do with Satanism, though. It's paganism. The Devil's Reign, 1975, William Shatner and Ernest Borgnine. Race with the Devil, 1975, Don't Believe a School Bus on Sunday. To the Devil a Daughter, 1976, Natasha Kinski. And Evil Speak, 1981, Clint Howard. So I guess you could call me a piker from the 70s. You'll need a black robe, an upside-down cross, torchlight, and a human sacrifice. Better hope Walmart is open 24 hours. Dr. Price, have you yourself ever been called a Satanist because of your opinions? Have you ever witnessed something satanic? For instance, this Jesus seminar thing I keep hearing about. Did you know these Satanists claim Jesus was eaten by dogs, according to Pastor Jason Dennett? Maybe I should go with a Patrick Woodruff avatar now instead of Jack Kirby's The Peeper artwork from Marvel King Size Captain America Annual Number 4, 1977, Fin Fang Foom. That is, of course, the great Chinese dragon created by Jack Kirby in Marvel Comics. Naturally, I've got an action figure of him. Let's see... I don't think we have any Satanist rituals that haven't been created in the modern time. I know there are medieval and even late antique magical grimoires that have information for summoning demons, but the idea there is not to worship them, but rather, as the Gospels say, to bind the strong man and force him to do your will. Even if it's for selfish things, it's still not worshiping the devil. The supposed Satan worship connected with witchcraft in the Middle Ages is very uncertain. I mean, we don't know. Like, given that the witches persecuted were forced to sign confessions written up by witch hunters who were fanatical Christians and assumed that witches were Satanists. the fact that they confess to having sex with Satan and stuff like this, it's totally unreliable evidence. Who knows what they actually thought they were doing. Margaret Murray, in the witch cult in Western Europe, argued that, no, it was a kind of continuing pre-Christian paganism, which it might have been, or it might have been no religion at all, just folklore, as I would suspect. But that wasn't Satanism. And modern Satanism, Anton LaVey cobbled together some rituals. I think he borrowed some from some other modern groups, and some were just kind of cobbled together from the work of H.P. Lovecraft and Frank Belknap Long. The ceremony of the 9 angles and stuff, that's not ancient any more than Wicca is ancient, right? It sort of claims an ancient pedigree, but the Church of Satan, Anton LaVey's group, which I believe these days is headed up by Peter Gilmore, an old pal of mine, they don't believe in the supernatural. They're religious humanists of an unusual kind. LaVey used to call people that did believe in devils and dealing with them occultniks. He didn't buy that. It was all theater for him, and he admitted it. He wasn't trying to lie to anybody. I'm not trying to defend him. He was a bastard in many ways, but and a real liar. He fabricated his whole anti-hagiography. Let's see. Even Aleister Crowley wasn't a Satanist. He called himself the Antichrist, but he just meant something like what Nietzsche did. He was bringing in a new religion, Thelema. That's not Satanism. It's a cult and Gnostic in a way, but it's not Satanism. The Temple of Set broke away from the Church of Satan, and I'm friends with a guy who's the current high priest of that, a fellow weird fiction writer, Don Webb. These people do believe in unseen forces, but it's really something more like a self-development thing. I mean, vaguely like Gurdjieff. I mean, that category. It's occult, quote-unquote. It relies on what it believes to be hidden realities, but there's nothing about it being evil and all that. You do occasionally read about, I'm close to saying there isn't any real Satanism of the kind that we read about in weird fiction, horror movies, and the like. But I don't quite go that far, because there are groups of nuts here and there who have practiced animal or even human sacrifice, but it's a very marginal thing with no links to any ancient or medieval tradition. Satanism really is mainly a literary, actually believing in Baphomet and all that kind of stuff. That, I think, is completely a literary tradition, a fiction. And these movies are a lot of fun, but again, The Wicker Man doesn't have anything to do with Satan. It's all paganism. Some of these movies are really terrific. Yeah. Okay. What about the Jesus Seminar? Malcolm Muggeridge said, oddly enough, after he converted to some kind of Christianity, that he believed in a purely spiritual resurrection, no physical resurrection, and he said that, I think he's the one that said that the corpse of Jesus might have been devoured by dogs. I think I remember at the seminar John Dominic Crossan saying something like that, but I believe his real opinion, that it might have been, but his real opinion is that Jesus' body would have been thrown into a common grave, like a lime pit or something, which would be a little bit inconsistent with that. But, of course, fundamentalists chalk everything that is not fundamentalist up to Satan, right? They think everything is Satan's invention, especially the Catholic Church. Well, they don't have to be worshiping Satan and having black masses to count as a manifestation of Satan any more than anything else the church lady condemned. Okay. And I've said here I know a couple of Satanist quote-unquote bigwigs, but I've never seen any of their rituals, whatever they may be. But, again, they don't believe in the devil, so, what kind of sort of demythologize Satanists.